Hello friends, it's me Maddie. Welcome back if you've been here before, or welcome if you're new. Today we are going to go over my pocket rings setup that I am starting out 2026 with. As a side note, unfortunately I accidentally started my laundry at the same time I started recording, so hopefully you can't hear too much background noise, but hear any funny sounds, that's what that is. So getting started with the cover I'm using right now, this is a filofax Ranger in the pocket size in black. This is like a vintage cover. I think they made it in the 80s and the 90s and they don't make it anymore. I got this one on eBay and then I got my personal sized one on Etsy. So they are out there if you look. But getting right into it, I am using this as my wallet and my planner. So on the left, I have my cards. I have like a credit card, debit card, and then my ID behind here. And then the rest of this stuff in the side pockets is mostly decoration. I use these stars for a habit tracker. This first section is kind of like goals, trackers, some lists and things like that. It is a little bit more full than I would like in terms of how difficult it is to turn the pages, but that's mostly only an issue for these front pages. All of these inserts are printed on MD cream paper. I just got like an A4 pad of paper off of Amazon or Jet Pens, I think, and have been using that. I think I might prefer to have slightly thinner paper, so I might look into getting cream Tomoe River paper, loose leaf, but I want the 64 GSM instead of the 52, and I haven't been able to find a place to get that yet. Starting off, I have this little values page. This is inspired by a video I saw a while back. I'll try and link it, but I just thought it would be nice to have values up front so you're reminded of them. This is a wins page where each month I write down little wins that have happened. These don't have to be big things. They could be like, I had a really nice day doing XYZ thing, small things, small daily moments like that, or bigger, more milestone moments. And I actually made a fair number of these inserts myself. I've been in the mood to bullet journal lately, so I just printed out some grid paper inserts from Lindsay Scribbles and kind of drew out the insert that I wanted essentially. So this is just her from the ghosting pen, Lindsay Scribbles, the like grid, pocket grid paper, and I divided it into 6 little sections for each month, so we have the full year on there. I'm not sure if this will be big enough. I might split it into two pages, 6 months per sheet. And then this is also inspired by another video I will link as well. Essentially, it's like reminders for each month that you build upon over time. So I just started this last year, I think when I was in personal rings, but these are just like things to remember throughout the year. Ideally, I can build on this over a long period of time. And then I have a page for my goals. I haven't quite settled on them yet for this year or like figured out what they're going to be, but once I do, they will go here. And then I am attempting to do a low spend, no spend situation. I have a trip coming up, so I want to save some money for that. So essentially, I get one of these gold stars every time I don't spend money on things I don't need to. So if I have a bill or something that comes out of my account one of these days, I can still get a star. But if I go spontaneously shopping, I don't. That makes sense. And then I thought I would try and introduce some like rewards or incentives so that I might be more successful, but we'll see. Hasn't really been working so far. And then in an effort to curb the impulsive spending, I also added a wish list. This is from Lindsay Scribbles as well. And then I have her mood log. I'm just marking my mood for the day and then putting a like short recap of what happened each day. And I think these look cuter if you connect it with a line, so I'm doing that. Also, if I had just like a neutral day, I'm putting it at this like middle spot. And then this one is sort of fun. I attempted to backfill this earlier, but I wanted a way to track like what notebooks I'm using. So I drew this up. It's just each day of the month vertically, and then my different like planners and notebooks across the top. So I have my planner, which is this right now. I recently got a 5-year Hobonichi on the 9th. So I have that there, and I'm trying to use that every evening. My gratitude journal in my traveler's notebook, my morning pages notebook, weekly memory keeping, a pocket notebook, commonplace, and then my highlight journal. So I kind of want to come up with a more visually pleasing way to represent this, maybe with like dot circles or something, but in the meantime I can at least keep track of the information here. And then I have always been curious about the like adulting log concept, so this is my attempt at that. Hi, editing Maddie here. I thought I would jump in because I did a very bad job explaining what an adulting log is actually supposed to be. I think I first saw this in, again, a Lindsay Scribbles video in her pocket and personal rings setups. But essentially, an adulting log is like a annual monthly tracker where you can put non-reoccurring tasks that you need to do like at certain periods throughout the year. So for mine, I have doctor's appointments that I need to like know or reference when the last time I went was, like the dentist and things like that. And I added some things for my house, like when I last changed the AC filter and when I need to do that again. Things that you manually have to do, like that aren't automatic, is the type of task that I was trying to put on this list. And this is a health log for my dog Theo. He's a sensitive boy, so I like to keep track of any weird things that happen just in case I need that for reference later. This is a work, holiday, and PTO tracker. So the gray boxes are a work holiday where we have the whole day off. The circle is an appointment, which for me doesn't use PTO. And then the green boxes are days that I did use PTO. And if I only use a half day, then I'll just fill in the box like diagonally. Kind of wish I picked a different color than gray for the other days, but alas. And then I filled in my holidays, my work holidays for the year on here. And then on the back, I have a sticky note with like what the specific days are. And then we have my monthlies. I'm just going to show you January so that I don't show any like upcoming plans. But this is again from Lindsay Scribbles shop, The Ghosting Pen. This is an undated monthly, and I went through and filled in all of the dates through July. Pretty much I come in here every day or almost every day and cross off the day that we're on. And then at the beginning of each week, I come to this page and copy down all of my events into my weekly. And then at the end of the week, I try and like do it the other direction. So if I had anything come up during the week, I'll move it to the monthly just so that they're like matched and reconciled. And I do plan to put my like monthly goals or monthly tasks over here on the left. Just haven't gotten there quite yet. And I added the week numbers down the side. And then because I don't have the whole year in here, I made this little future log for the other months that I'm missing in here. I actually haven't used like a future log of this style since I bullet journaled way back in the day. So we'll see how this goes. Could be interesting. And then my next little section is for weeklies. This is a insert that I designed myself. It's undated, and then I have the days of the week over here with an empty box and then space for a little habit tracker, and then whatever you want to use this top portion of the page for. Yeah, so like I said, I have been using this like all of January, and it's been working pretty well. I have been putting my habits over here and then making a little DIY mood log and sleep hours log, and then adding, did I spell that wrong? Expensive. Yeah, I think it did. I've been adding my expenses, any entertainment I'm watching that week, watching, reading, listening to, and then a to-do list. And then I put my events over here and any day-specific tasks that I need to do. And then in an effort to keep this binder not super full, because it only has 16 millimeter rings, I believe, I think I'm just going to keep only 1 month of weeklies in here at a time. I think I have a little bit more than that at the moment, but we'll get through all of these. And then these little tab thingies are Midori, I believe. I'll put the name up of them, but they're like repositionable. They are what is that so hard to say? Repositionable, removable, and reusable index tabs. I do find them a little bit challenging to use with rings just because if you don't cut your pages super precisely, then they won't really poke out. But I think I'm slowly getting used to them. And then my next section is my daily pages. I believe I talked about this before, but I've been using these two inserts. These are both from Me Plus. This reminds me of the Hobonichi A6 daily layout where you have the timeline down the side, a little bit of a column, boxes on the top for your main tasks. And then this is just a blank piece of paper. And these are on really thin paper. I think it's at least 52 GSM. And this is white and that's cream, which hasn't bothered me so far. I also think this might be a little bit taller than a traditional pocket size. But anyway, if I have a day where I want to time block, or maybe I'm a little bit more busy, then I'll use the Hobonichi layout. Or if I have more like reading and stuff, if I have more writing I want to do, then I'll just use a blank sheet of paper. And then in my last section, I have a reading log. Lindsay scribbles again. Sadly, I still have not finished a book this year, but that's okay. I moved some of these reference pages over from my M5, so this is every concert I've been to. But I think it's kind of harder to remember than you would imagine. Movies to watch, TV shows to watch. Oh, I watched that. I wonder if I should cross them off once I have watched it. Anyway, recently was doing a recap of 2025 journaling session, and I wanted to have places I had gone in 2025, like restaurants, cafes, stuff like that. I also wanted a media recap, so I decided I would add some lists this year so that I have that information when I want to do a spread like that again in the future. So I'm not like cataloging every single thing here, but I'm trying to write down notable things I've watched, listened to. Reading will go in the reading log. So I guess this is mostly for TV, podcasts, articles, stuff like that. Places I've visited. I saw No Other Choice last night. Quite good. And then I have some like ideas, pages, notes. And then I attempted to do like a content planner, but I accidentally punched it like off center, so it kind of pokes out in a weird way. And I'm really trying to not let it bother me, but it bothers me. So for now, I'm pretending it doesn't exist and it's just in the back right now. But I'm trying to do 2 videos per month. So if you have anything you would like to see, let me know. I will add it to the list. Then we just have some blank paper. And then I had a lot of fun making these. I don't know why I necessarily need this, but I can do what I want. So this is all of my ink samples that I have, ink samples and bottles, mostly samples. But I kind of organized it by color family, I suppose. And I just wrote them out. Fun to look at and maybe useful if I was ever to be buying inks out and about to know what I have already. And then these are a couple of trigger lists from the planner spot and a pen test page, which this paper doesn't seem to do very well with the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pens, calligraphy. I think they're brush pens. Almost bled through. Anyway, and then I just added a zipper pocket and a page lifter to the back. And then because this is an older planner cover, the pen loop is comically tiny, so I got some adhesive pen loops and I stuck this to the back of the page lifter so that it wouldn't leave a bump on the front, the writing side. And then the pen loop ended up being smaller than I thought it would be, so I've just been clipping my pen to it like this, which totally works and is great. Now the pen doesn't fly out when I open the cover. And then in the back, I have this Hobonichi stencil. That's pretty much it. Just some extra bits and bobs, some stickers. I do want to set up a financial section, so stay tuned. I might add that. And then that's kind of it. In the front, I don't keep much. I have a coupon, some extra cards, and some post-it notes. That's kind of it. Short and sweet, pretty simple. I really wanted to add to this intentionally and not just like recreate old setups that I've had in the past. So I've been adding things as they like come to mind or if I see a need for them. So I think it's been good so far. I committed to doing at least 1 month in here, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do next. I still am feeling drawn to like a bullet journal style setup, maybe in Passport Traveler's Notebook, but I am also liking this, so maybe I will do another month here and then experiment with some other options. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about where anything is from, anything like that. I will do my best to answer. And also let me know if you have any videos that you would like to see for the year or soon in general. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.